Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day and God bless you. Alright, let's get right into the news here because there's quite to cover on this Monday. I covered a story last week talking about how Liz Cheney in the January 6th committee along with Nancy Pelosi were pushing for Donald Trump to be indicted and be arrested. This was their October surprise. But that has been their ultimate goal with this whole proceeding. This was the whole reason that January 6th committee was put together in order to arrest Trump. This is what they promised their voters. They promised the far-left Democrats that they were going to come in and arrest Trump. That's what their stated goal has been. Liz Cheney is part of this, along with some other Republicans as well. Adam King is there and I'm sure there's other Republicans cheering in the background, maybe not as loudly because they don't want to be targeted. But this is what we have right now. We have a situation here where Democrats are going to go full-fledged into arresting Trump. This is their main goal. So we are just watching this, and this is going to be a huge miscalculation on the part of the Democrat Party. If they decide to go this route, if they decide to go in a restaurant, it's going to ignite something larger than what they're anticipating. They're going to lose independents, because the independents don't want to see political prosecution on either side. Really, it's the people on the right or left who really want to, make their political. I guess these political criminals pay the prices that they have incurred while they've been in Congress and why they've been working against the American people. So this is coming to become more and more of a reality. So this is Julie Kelly. We talked about a little bit of stuff that she covered the other day, and she's right on top of this once again, and we're gonna dive into what she has here. So let's go and take a look at this. This is over here on Twitter. And this is from Julie Kelly. She's been featured on Tucker Carlson a lot. She's very big over here. She has a book talking about January 6th. Prisoners. This is what she says here, bringing charges against Trump. I'm 99% sure. DOJ will has nothing to do with the evidence or building a case or following the rule of law. This will be a coda to the Democrats' 6-year-long crusade to put Trump in handcuffs. Now the Democrat base expects nothing less. The January 6th prosecution to the January 6th committee has increased expectations that Trump will be indicted. Biden regime and Democrats will pay a political price from their own voters if the DOJ fails to charge Trump. And since there are no judicial guardrails in place to force the DOJ to play by the rules, this accountable, vengeful DOJ has no reason not to indict Trump. A D.C. grand jury will be happy to produce a formal and formal indictment, and D.C. judge will be eager to allow the case to proceed. And D.C. jury will be thrilled to convict. This is what they want. This is where it's going. This is from the Washington Post opinion. I am no longer doubtful. If Garland had the case, Trump must be arrested or indicted. So this is where it's going. This is what the Democrats plan on doing. They've laid it out. This was the whole purpose of the January 6th committee. This was the whole purpose of the January 6th commission, was in order to make Donald Trump and anybody around Donald Trump pay. This is the game. This is what they've been playing for 6 long years. This is what the impeachments were all about. They've been building their cases in order to arrest Trump. This is what's coming to my friends. So again, this will be the biggest miscalculation in the Democrat history. If they go down this route. They have been warned many times, but they will not adhere to it because they have to listen to the far left of their base. Anyway. Very curious to see what you guys have to say. I know this would absolutely explode a powder keg that we're currently sitting on right now if they decide to do this. And then. There are a great many New York Post articles detailing Hunter's emails and clear violations of the law within those emails. But one article in particular, New York Post huge integrity test calls for action as Biden voicemail reveals he knew Hunter's China deals. Okay. So President Biden stated during the campaign, and for years, that he didn't know anything about Hunter's deals. That was a lie. You can add that to the tens of thousands of lies that he's told that, of course, the Washington Post and New York Times and others haven't compiled. Okay. That is a grandiose deception. Reason being they impeached Trump, because they were horrified that anyone would want to investigate potential corruption within the Biden, family. And so the issue here is that, he did force out a prosecutor. I mean, this is one of the issues he forced on a prosecutor. And We didn't have the emails in 2019. We have the emails because of the New York Post. Journalists that broke that story deserved Pulitzer Prizes. What took place was, of course, it was censored. The New York Post account was suspended on Twitter. Gee, I wonder why. Anyway, Democrats had Twitter as an extension of their political party until Elon Musk came along. He'll eventually purchase Twitter. But that's a whole other story. If you look at the New York Post article, and you listen to the voicemail, and you read the transcript of the voicemail, you will see that the president was lying. Surprise, surprise, Rand Paul and others will vote to impeach President Mashed Potato Brains almost immediately after 2022 probably. I mean, they'll go through. They'll take advantage of whatever media and committee hearings they can to uncover the massive corruption. So they're going to investigate every single one of those emails, where you have the oil and gas company in that country that's being investigated now, asking Hunter for influence to use his influence on the company's behalf. Where Hunter says he gives 10% of his income to Joe, all the other where Hunter. There's articles in the New York Post talking about how Hunter flew on the same flights as the vice president at that point. And also met with Joe Biden meeting with Hunter's business associates at the White House, and like 19 other government buildings, according to the New York Post. So I mean, Kushner and Ivanka, they don't have this 150 suspicious financial transactions, banking transactions that CBS News reported. I mean, this is all public record knowledge. You'd have to actually be versed or interested in this, because it is public record knowledge now. If you tell a Democrat this, they will not understand. It would be like trying to teach quantum physics to a house cat. They won't get it, they don't want to learn, they won't know what you're talking about. If you actually read the endless stream of Hunter's emails, where it's like there's their business transactions taking place. There's business deals in exchange for there are people asking for favors, and then they won't understand it because Democrats, according to morally superior, highly educated, wonderful, liberals, beautiful people can do no wrong. Hunter allegedly weighing narcotics in a video, getting into arguments with people who were paid for certain services and evening all the different salacious videos. That's not a problem. Hunter's .38 firearm being thrown into a dumpster by his girlfriend, and then the Secret Service covering up that story, and then him alleging that Joe has like 5 firearms. This is all obviously the epitome of hypocrisy. But the issue now is you have Tony Boo Belinsky, who is an associate of Hunter's who was willing to testify. You have people like Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, James Jordan in the House, Lauren Boebert and others in the House who can't wait to impeach our beloved president. So it's just a matter of time. You can't say. And then you have the Durham Probe Special Counsel, then you have parallel investigations within the Durham Probe. And look, I mean, you apparently have parallel investigations in the House of Representatives and the Senate once Republicans take over that help the Durham Probe Special Counsel. But also you have impeachment committees that are looking into Hunter and James and Joe, and 150 financial transactions that are deemed suspicious, and emails asking for influence on a certain company's behalf, and business deals in China and other countries. And then you have, like I said, meetings where Joe was present when he stated he wasn't, and then meetings that he's alluding to, or that he is acknowledging in a voicemail. So you have actual audio of Joe stating, "You're in the clear." Read the New York Times article that so it's not going to be difficult to impeach this president for actual crimes like it is a crime to sell access to the United States government. You can't force out a prosecutor and then 2 years later find that there are emails where the company is asking for a favor, and now according to Democrats, and the course they took Graft 101, this doesn't mean anything because the timeline doesn't make any sense. None of the timeline makes perfect sense. Okay. Hunter's getting $1 million+. Joe forces out a prosecutor that's going to investigate the company that is paying Hunter. It really doesn't matter when the voicemail or when the email asking for a favor. And the forcing out of the prosecutor. Like it doesn't matter if they aligned because there's a business relationship. It's not like in business, or in some kind of criminal or corrupt affair or relationship or agreement. You only give a favor when an email is asked, or probably there are other emails or other requests that perhaps weren't written down. If you're getting $1 million, that's also goodwill leading to favors after the contract is over. So it's not like you're the Democrats are like, the emails and the money flow, and the forcing out of the prosecutor might not be. It doesn't make any sense. No. In terms of the Graft 101 course that they took, it doesn't make sense in the real world. When you're paying someone $1 million, that person owes you before and after and during the $1 million payment. Anyway, that's just one example of corruption. And we'll talk about impeachment, we'll talk about a whole bunch of things, but you have to understand something. Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, Jim Jordan Boebert, a whole bunch of these are Trump Republicans, or I should say Grandpa's not a Trump Republican. But Rand Paul looks at logic, reason, evidence. He doesn't matter. He is very effective or very good at challenging the status quo. He's even better than President Trump at that. He really is. Rand Paul's excellent at using he's able to communicate his thoughts in an eloquent manner. Okay. Trump used to be able to do that very well. And now he's kind of still caught up in the, you did this, and if Trump becomes the Trump of 2015, he's unstoppable now really, but he'll be beyond unstoppable because 2015 he was speaking to Joe and Mika. He was speaking to Anderson Cooper and nothing fazed him. Now, it's untrue social, same thing on Twitter. All they did this, they did that. That's okay. And all, but the thing is he has to announce, and he has to focus on his economic accomplishments, which were profound record low unemployment, real wages up, not down, now we have a recession now. We have oil prices through the roof, they will get even higher towards the end of the summer, the beginning of the winter, despite the recession. But Rand Paul is very good at using just basic logic. That's why media and the establishment also don't like Rand Paul. The thing is, though he's able to communicate his thoughts without being as polarizing as President Trump. President Trump's funny a lot. A lot of the times he's hilarious a lot of times, but he doesn't. Okay, if Trump did what Rand Paul was doing, he'd be absolutely unstoppable. Because what Rand Paul does is he says, look, here's my argument. It's backed by fact. Okay. Let's debate, let's discuss, let's have a dialogue. Let's have discourse. Rand Paul pushes a dialogue and a discourse, debate discussion. And he furthers his viewpoint. Because he wants dialogue. President Trump used to cause us to want dialogue for he's good at marketing. And so what he should do is at least market and advertise and publicize his achievements economically in terms of foreign policy. Biden has zero achievements, there's one thing he did good, other than that, zero achievements. The country is in free fall economically, and in terms of foreign policy, it's a catastrophe. Now, it's not going to be difficult to impeach Biden. Rand Paul will be one of the people in the Senate that makes it happen. Now, he'll vote to impeach Rand Paul, Jim Jordan in the House. Ron Johnson in the Senate, Rand Paul in the Senate will vote to impeach. Obviously, the House will be Trump Republican all the way. The Senate will be Trump Republican also. Okay. I don't think people understand how many citizens in Georgia love Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker is a legend. He's a legend in Georgia. And not just because he's the Heisman Trophy winner and legendary NFL player. He is a business owner, he's a huge part of that community and the history of that state, so it's interesting that the polls have him 3 points down. For what purpose, for what reason? I don't know. But Republicans lost Georgia, because you had to Republicans investigate a Republican president. That's a whole other story. There's gonna be the big payback, James Brown, big payback coming. You should look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. It's good. Democrats investigated Trump because the best offense is the best defense is a good offense for Democrats. So they actually do commit crimes. Top secret intelligence on private servers, Hunter's emails, they actually do commit crimes. Trump didn't. That's why they're desperately trying to find a crime. Investigate. What they do with Trump is they level accusations that are baseless, then they investigate to see if the baseless accusations are accurate. Trump levels an accusation, says, hey, we should investigate that. They say, oh, my God, is baseless. We spoke to somebody, it's horrible. Why is he spreading lies and deceit? So any claim trumps Trump makes no investigation for the claim? Any claim Democrats make we need to investigate. And that's American politics. Midterms are in November, and you have a huge sea change. The pendulum is going to move to the conservative or to the Trump Republican, which isn't always conservative, but the Trump Republican viewpoint and the entire paradigm of American politics is going to change. Democrats are going to be on the defensive every single day for the next 4 years or so. And it seems as though Donald Trump is back. I think a lot of people can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I got for you guys though. Thanks for